Okay, I have to do this. I have to do this while I have it in front of me. So, because if I don't, something tells me, like, people may, like, boycott the show from this point forward. So, just to prove that he still exists, there's Roscoe. Okay? What's up, playa? There he goes. He's showing off for everybody. There we go. Now, is he going to do it? No, that's about the extent of it. And then for those of you that don't know, there's Skittles. That's the rabbit that's sitting there. So there you go. Okay, so those of you animal lovers, do you feel content now? Roscoe still exists. There you are. Okay. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Welcome once again to Step Chat. Hey there, everybody. I'm your host, or one of the hosts. For those of you that I've not had the pleasure yet of meeting, my name is Stephen Jones. Let's see here. I need to, here we go. We got everybody. Hannah True, hi there. Stephanie, Miss Stephanie, good to see you. Dina, good to see you. Sarah, hello. Carolyn, Teresa, Teresa's very happy now. Hello, Debbie Levy, good to see you. All right, so I'm doing pretty good. I got my Cavassier right here. No, I'm kidding. It's just hot chocolate, but you know. There's the old ladies' man tribute from SNL days. I got my Cavassier right here. But no, there we go. Hello, Flavia. Good to see you. Yes, I did. Yes, Tristan, I did indeed. Hello, Angela. Nice seeing you. Tommy DeLorenzo and Sarah. Good to see you. How y'all doing? Okay, so tonight I've got some business to handle. Hello, Dory. I've got a little complaining to do, and then I have a big announcement to make. So I'm excited. Hello, Jenny Prado. How are you? So let's get started right away with the Float Foundation stuff. As of right now, there are 2 classes currently still in the system. For those of you that took Robin Veach's class, your free replay is over. That ended yesterday. You now have just about 1 week left to take advantage of the $5 deal. Now, again, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, when you enroll in one of our classes and the free replay is over, you get the opportunity to purchase the video for $5. Hello, Cindy. Good to see you. And you get a week to do it. So that week is currently running, okay? Please follow the timeline and get done, okay? Also, I want to remind everybody that our next class, scheduled for a week from Tuesday with Dante Longy on grid style walls and murals, you have less than a week to enroll. Remember, this is the new deadline that we're talking about here. We are now going to require enrollment by 5 p.m. next Sunday. Right now, there really are a lot of you have not signed up yet that I know are going to be signing up. And I know that a lot of it's because the fact that we started promoting this class like 3 weeks ago and you thought, oh, I got all kinds of time. Please, dear God, do not be one of these people that waits till the last minute. Because I'm, hello, Kathy Buell. Because I'm absolutely, we're not extending the deadline. The deadline is in the meme, 5 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday the 10th. That is your deadline. So if you're going to get enrolled, get enrolled. Also, please remember, if you are eligible for the $10 discount on the class, please do not sign up for the class at $30 and then just say, Steve, I didn't want to bother you, so can you refund me the $10? Because you're still bothering me. And now it's costing me money to refund you the $10. So I would really appreciate it if you would bother me and ask me for the discount code, and I will gladly give it to you so you can sign up at the regular rate and we're good, okay? So do me a favor and do that in the future. Hello, Christy, how are you? To be very honest with you, Christy, today was not a good day. Today was a very rough day, which I'll get into in just a few minutes. But it wasn't. I'm better. Let's put it that way. You know, I'm channeling my inner Sith right now, so I'm good. So so yeah, please, if you're going to take Dante's class, please get signed up because the enrollment for that ends at 5 p.m. my time next Sunday. Okay. And if you're eligible for the hello Natasha, if you're eligible for the discount code, please message me. You can text me, you can email me, you can call me, whatever you want to do. I'm happy to give you the code. And if you are a member of the Float forum, the code was posted today in the forum, so you can go there and get that. Chrissy, I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope you're feeling better. I really do. I know that you were under the weather considerably, so I hope you're feeling better. Hello, Lisa McIntyre. So nice to see you. And by the way, okay, it's not coffee, Crystal. Crystal Routen, it's not coffee. It's hot chocolate. It is, and it is because I still got to drive home. So, and the truth of the matter is, for those of you that don't know me, I drink very infrequently, and when I do, it's just like one glass of wine. I promise you. Hello, Jenny, and Christy. I'm very glad to hear that. If I drink a glass of wine, I can't drive home. I will be intoxicated to the point of driving while intoxicated. I don't drink, so I have an extremely low threshold. So yeah, I will. You know, now today might be one of those days I go home and break open the bottle of Moscato, but you know, I'm a dessert wine kind of guy. So there you go. But I would like to take just a moment to thank the ladies of Working Wonders because today I got my Christmas present. So thank you very much. It was very kind of you. They sent me a really cool T-shirt. It was really, like a Star Wars themed T-shirt. It was really nice. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Okay, so let me address Christy's question. Today was a very challenging day. It wasn't helped by the fact that I had to be up at 4 a.m. to do 5 different teardowns this morning before 10 a.m. Christy, yeah, I'm a lot like that. Christy, what I always tell people is the reason I don't drink is because I like my teeth where they are. You know, I don't want to get into fights and stuff like that, so I don't know. But Brenda, thank you very much. I am doing better, but I'm going to go into it right now, actually. Like I said, it wasn't helped by the fact that I had to be up at 4 a.m. and it wasn't helped by the fact that I didn't get to sleep till almost midnight. But today was an extremely challenging day because I received over a dozen communications today from people, and please understand, if you're one of these people that I'm addressing or talking about, understand that I'm not upset at you, but I am upset because so many of them came in at one time. Today was, Steve, I'm so sorry. I forgot to watch Robin's video yesterday. Can you give me an extension so I can watch it for free today? Steve, I forgot to buy your video at $5. Can you send me a coupon so I can get it now? Steve, I literally forgot to watch the last 3 classes I've paid for. Can you look them up for me and find out which ones they were and then give me access to them so I can watch them now? $12 different communications along these lines today. Since about 10 a.m. my time until about 4 p.m. That was a very, no, Christy, I'm not kidding. Everything I just said is one of is 3 of the conversations I had today with people. And I actually had somebody tell me, well, you don't give us enough warning that we're almost out of the free replay. And that one kind of set me off a little bit, because I for those, if you've not taken a Float Foundation class, and I'll just assume that, and I know there's some of you that haven't. There's some of you watching this that have never taken one. So I totally get it. So what happens is when we watch the class, and then I cut it up, and then you get the free replay option, and you get the replay for 2 weeks. And then what happens is, what literally happens is, I send an email blast the day it's available and says, okay, you've got 2 weeks. And in most cases, it's 2 weeks and a couple of days. I tend to round it up. So you actually get more than just 2 weeks. Then what I'll do is I will announce in the Float group, hey, the email blast just went out, right? You should make sure that you look in your thing, look in your whatever, look in your spam folders, whatever, blah, 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 check your PayPal email, yada, yada. I mean, we do this every time. Then what normally happens is, about a week before your replay is over, I'll send you another email to remind you that, hey, your replay is, wow, 50 people. Your replay is almost, about halfway up, right? And then what happens is, sometime within the last 3 days, sometimes it's 3 days before, sometimes it's the day before, sometimes it's the day of, but I will send out one last email, hey, you are almost out of time, here's your deadline, get to it. And then I will often come back here in the Float group and make another post and say, hey, by the way, your last chance is now. And I do this fairly consistently, like really consistently. And occasionally I may forget to post something in the group, but there's at least 4 communications that I tell people, hey, your time's almost up, your time's running out, your time's this, your time's that, here's your timeline. So today, when I'm told by somebody that I'm not giving them enough notice, I will say that Alexa looked at me at that point and said, maybe you shouldn't do a step chat tonight, because I was really frustrated. Christy, thank you. Yes, I do. I don't have any marshmallows in here either, which Darth Vader does not allow marshmallows. I'm lucky I get chocolate with it. And what's funny is that at about 2 o'clock this afternoon, I was reaching out to an instructor about possibly being our February teacher. And by 4 o'clock, I wanted to kill the whole program and just stop entirely after Dante. And I'm kind of going back and forth. John, thank you very much. I'm actually debating that maybe this is just, I didn't think it was that complicated of a system. But again, I feel like it's starting to get abused. I feel like it's starting to really, and like I said, when people start turning it on me that it's my fault somehow, that they're not fulfilling their end of the agreement or their end of whatever, I start to feel like, okay, maybe it's time to quit. So what I am considering at this point is eliminating the live class option altogether. And what we would do is we would simply coordinate with an instructor, pay the instructor their fee for shooting the class. We would shoot the class via Zoom, right, with myself and the instructor and whoever. And then what would happen is I would come up with some questions during the course of class. I would ask them, answer some questions. And then what would happen is I would cut the video, and then that video will be available, and you would be available to purchase it at different price levels. If you're pre-registered for Float 2022, you would get it for $20, just like you would now with the class, right? If you are, if you bought it by a certain time, you would get it for 30, and then after that, you would get it for 50, like we do now, and that's how it would work. I don't know what to do anymore. I know that, and let me be really, really clear. I know that 90% of you do it right. And God love you, I thank you for that. I really do. It's the 10% that are making it really hard to keep going some days. And some people have legitimate problems. I mean, for example, there's one individual that their email, for whatever reason, is not working. I just got notification tonight that an email I sent them 2 days ago never went through. And that was the email apparently they're using to get access to the video. So I don't know what's going on there. I have another person whose email address is just absolutely not letting anything through. Like they cannot, we've tried it 6 ways till Sunday. They can't get access to the video. So we've had to switch email addresses, which is why I'm actually really, really glad to be doing the new system with Dante, because now people can actually type in their email addresses and they can use the ones they prefer to use. But again, like this individual, this was the email she preferred to use and it wasn't getting through. So I don't know what to do with that except try another email. And then we did and it worked. So there are some people that are having legitimate issues. And I'm never going to be upset or concerned about people with legitimate issues. But like I said, I'm starting to feel like people are really taking advantage of my generosity to some extent or my leniency. And it's like, guys, I just, I'm kind of done. So I don't know if, Crystal, thank you. I don't know. I think we're going to have to figure it out. I am going to try to do something a little different with this next class. One of the things that I'm going to do, Shawnee, hold that thought for 1 second. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to expand further in the email that we send out initially. So when people get their replay email, they will know, and when people get the instructional email, from now on, they will know that they will receive an option to buy this class for $5. But like I said, it's amazing the number of people that do it. Okay, so Shawnee's question was, I'm sorry, I may have missed it, but is it the live that's the problem or changing it from free to $5? That's the problem. It's the transition. Well, it's a couple things. The way our system works, the video, the playback, the free replay is a live stream, okay? So you basically log in to our server, you watch the video, you can watch it over and over and over and over and over again, but you don't actually download it. You only watch it from the source. Then what happens is once it switches over to become a digital download, it's no longer streamable. So when people call me and say, Steve, oh my God, I forgot, or, I didn't possibly have time in 2 weeks to watch the class. Can you please extend the free replay for me? No, I can't, because it's no longer a streaming option. It's now switched to a digital download. And then there you go. What if you had someone else be in charge of the emails? Shawnee, that'd be wonderful if I had somebody that could do that. And I hate to break this to you, but they'd still be emailing me everything that comes through. We actually had this, we did this once before with Float. And unfortunately, I got just as many emails from the person that I asked to take over my emails, asking me how they answer these questions. By that point, I might as well be the one doing it. So, but it's, it's always an idea. So I'm exploring options. I'm absolutely exploring options. but I'm telling you right now that these options are being explored because of my frustration, and it's disappointing. Um, but again, I need to remind everybody, and I know that I know for some of you, some of you only know me as Steve, the guy from Float, and I understand that, and I appreciate that, and I respect that. But I'm actually this guy first. I'm actually Steve of Steve and Alexa from Balloon Designers. And so I have things to do throughout the course of my day that don't involve Float. I know it's hard to believe, especially the way things have been going with COVID. But I cannot always respond to you the second you want me to. My job is not to sit on the computer all day and answer questions and market my business. My job is to ball balloons and then deal with the other stuff. So that's what I hope people understand, and I hope that you get. And so there we go. Now, I did have a completely separate thing to bring up before I get to the big announcement. So I was chatting last night with my very good friend, Teresa Harding, Team Money of TMI from Monday nights here in the Float Group. By the way, if you have not watched her show, I guarantee that, oh no, Stephanie McMillan, I never said I had a life. I said I have a job, I have work to do. There's a difference. Even though I have to admit, I have been working on trying to have a life. So there you go. That was one of the reasons why I was up till almost midnight last night. That's another conversation. So, but anyway, I was talking to Teresa yesterday. And again, if you have not watched TMI, I highly encourage you to tune in, because I promise you, you will feel better afterwards. That's all I can say. You will feel better. So what I would, but we were talking about 1 million bubbles, the project from last summer, or from last year, from the COVID closures. And Teresa is actually working towards making 1 million bubbles an actual holiday. If you've seen her show, you know that every week Teresa shows the weekly forecast, and it's goofy theme days each week. So that way you can, and the intention is for you to market your business. So in other words, if you don't have something necessarily to post on Tuesday, if you found out that Tuesday was Taco Tuesday, if you've ever made a balloon taco, you could post a picture of a taco, or you could make a taco and say, here's my thing, that kind of thing. So that's the thing. Well, Teresa is actually in the process of trying to apply that 1 million bubbles would be an actual established holiday. Now, if I'm gonna be completely honest, this is not, the 1 million bubbles project was by no means the first humanitarian balloon effort holiday ever created. Years ago, in the old Balloon HQ days, there was a thing called Balloons Around the World. And it was created by a twister who lived in Alaska, I think it was. And I apologize, I don't know his name, and I never even knew him other than this holiday. But it was basically in tune with Make a Difference Day, which is in October. And the idea is that you would go out and use your balloon skills to spread goodness and joy and all that stuff. And every year, you would get half the people that are like, yay, that sounds great. And the other half would be like, damn it, they should be paying us. And so, and eventually it kind of fizzled out. I don't know if it fizzled out because of Balloon HQ kind of going by the wayside. I don't know if it fizzled out because of the gentleman that ran it. I don't know anything about it other than it really isn't a thing anymore. So when we created the COVID, when we created 1 million bubbles, it was based on the same principle as that, but of course it was obviously due to COVID. and it was more of a COVID type, it was more of literally like, instead of you just going out and doing something nice for somebody else, it was to inspire people to keep going and to fight and to this and that. There was a central message behind it, right? So yeah, there you go, Jeff Brown. There you go. I don't personally know him, Kathy. I'm glad you know him. That's really, he's actually from Juneau? I did not know that. Um, so um, so anyway, Teresa wants to lobby to make it an actual holiday. The question is when. And the debate that she and I were having on this is the official first day of this was March 26th, because it happened to coincide, and it really was coincidence. It actually happened to be the first day that Washington State was locked down. But I swear to God, it was purely coincidence. We had originally planned on making it April 1st. And the idea was to kind of change April Fool's Day into a different thing. But then we thought about it and we thought, no, that we don't want this to be mocked at all. We want this to be a serious thing. So we bumped it up ahead of schedule and put it on March 26th. It turns out that March 26th, as I said, was the first day of lockdown in Washington State. But again, purely coincidence. But that first 1 Million Bubbles project, there were only about 400 people that participated. The second one, which took place over Easter weekend, had 2,100 people involved from 80 different countries. So the debate was, do we schedule it as March 26th, which was the first actual project, or do we celebrate it over Easter weekend when it was the biggest? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put it up for a vote in the float group tomorrow. So that way you guys can discuss it and debate and decide what you'd like to do with it. And I think what we'll do is, if there's a clear winner, we'll go in that direction. If there's not a clear winner, then we'll probably flip a coin or make up our minds and whatever, or I'll pull an executive decision. I got no idea. We might schedule it the day before Easter. I don't know, whatever. But we want your input. So there you go. There's that. All right, my hot chocolate is turning into chocolate milk. So, well, Brenda, that's an excellent point. Brenda's point is that it's cold and snowing in a lot of states in March. No, to be honest with you, Brenda, I can tell you exactly why it picked up momentum the second time. Qualitex got on board. Qualitex was not involved in the first push. The 1 Million Bubbles project was actually timed right before, and again, not on purpose, just happened to be that way, ended up being like the week before their digital convention. And there was absolutely no, oh, thank you, Teresa. That's a good point. So when Qualitex kind of got a feel for it, and then of course realized the marketing potential from it, they got on board and helped share the message. And then Vitalik shared it, Gemar shared it, several different manufacturers shared it. So from that point on, that's when the momentum really built up. And that's when, and Easter Sunday was why it was so huge. But Brenda brings up a really good point, is that, temperature wise, weather wise, it's not always the best in certain parts of the country. So maybe it is better to wait till April. And Teresa brought up a really good point too. The very first one was 1 Million Bubbles of Joy, whereas the second one was 1 Million Bubbles of Hope. And so hope would still be probably the most prevalent one of all. And then of course on Mother's Day weekend, it was 1 Million Bubbles of Love. And even then, I don't know. So we can always ask. We'll throw it out there and see what people think, and we'll go from there. I think mid-March is better for pre-Easter, spring, and weather. Sarah, again, I think it depends on what part of the country you're in, because I know for a fact if you're in Chicago, mid-March is not fun. But at the same time, and sometimes Easter is in March, sometimes it's in April. So it does. It's one of those holidays that moves around. So that's a thing. But again, we'll take a look and see what everybody says. And there's not going to be a perfect solution to this. There's not going to be a perfect answer. And you know, nobody's gonna, in a normal world, many of us are busy with Easter decor. And I see that's funny, Denise, because I'm never busy with Easter work. Me personally, never. Um, the guy who made an Easter instructional video, I can count on one hand the number of Easter jobs I've had. 2. So I don't, but again, it's, this year might be different with, you know, I may be sitting there going, holy crap, you know, Denise was right. So I don't know. It's really weird how that goes. Okay. So I'm actually very excited because tonight I am going to share with you the logo and theme for Float 2022. I'm actually probably the most proud of this one. And well, I shouldn't say that. Okay, so for those of you that have never been to Float, you don't necessarily know. We do, hello, Virginia, good to see you. Every year, I mean, we have a standard logo, right? Float, you know, our standard logo. A lot of times we'll use just the balloon part of the logo. But at the same time, we generally create a special logo that's dedicated to each convention. And we were debating, well, to be honest, we weren't debating. I was sitting here at the shop one day and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And it was, honestly, it hit me about, it was May. It was May. And I looked up at Alexa and I said, oh my God. And she's like, what? And I said, I think I just came up with the theme for the next Float. And she was like, okay, what? A phoenix rising from the ashes of what we've been dealing with for the last year. And what is significant about the phoenix is that this shape is cut from the float balloon. It's actually taken directly out of the float balloon. So this year's logo, Float 22, again, we rise. So I am really excited about this, and it looks like a lot of you are too, so that's really nice to see. So yeah, I'm really excited about this logo. We've never, the moment, like I said, back in May, the moment we thought of this, we've never changed. We've never even varied from it. So this is it. This is the logo for Float 2022. Now, I'm also very, wow, I guess you guys really like it. That's good. I'm glad. One of the things that we're going to do is I spoke to my, one of my sign guy actually back in Cincinnati, who is now doing shirts. And we are going to we're going to start getting actually these shirts made up. And sometime within the next couple of days, I hope, on the website, we're going to have in the orange store, we're going to have t-shirts available. And with the purchase of your shirt, you'll get free shipping within the continental United States. So we will glad that. Yeah, Jenny. Yes, I've had to keep it under wraps. It's been tough. It's been very tough. But yeah, I don't think there's ever been a more appropriate idea than the phoenix rising from the ashes of what we've been dealing with. And again, I do want to say one thing that has been not on my not bad or anything, but long sleeve. I'll talk to him. We'll see what's available. I, I know that not everybody has had a bad year. It's true. I mean, I have friends who own party stores who have had record sales in 2020 because of COVID. I know of probably 24 relatively new balloon people. And when I say relatively new, I mean within the last 2 years or so, that have just exploded this past year, in part because of COVID and in part because of where they were positioned at the time. Um, I will say that for some of us, it's been a lot more challenging. Um, when I was like I said, I've said before, this is my third economic disaster. The first one was 9/11, but at the time, um, I was fully employed as an activity director at a retirement home, and my business was very part time then, so I wasn't dependent upon my income, and I had a job. Right when the stock market fell in 2008, I was involved with those of you from the early days of Float. You remember Tina. Um, Tina had a very solid job and had a house and everything else. And I had the ability to fall back on her when I almost lost everything because of Float. Actually, because Float, for those of you that don't know, was literally 3 weeks after the stock market. The very first float was 3 weeks after the stock market crash of 2008, and I lost my what on it. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm kind of thinking we've already had, like, the timing of Float is really good, and for once it's in our favor because we already had our crap time. But this was the first financial crisis I've had to deal with where I am completely dependent upon my income. And not only am I dependent on it, but Alexa's dependent upon our income here. And to some degree, until last month, my ex-wife was dependent upon the income here because, you've got a divorce agreement, whatever, that thankfully is over now. But yeah, so it's been a scary time. And I've said it before, the people that had the most to lose were those of us that were completely dependent upon our businesses. And I think, to be very honest with you, if you have survived this, it doesn't matter if you were profitable or not. It doesn't matter any of that. You deserve a hell of a pat on the back because you guys have fought through some nasty stuff. And I'm telling you, you better get ready for the roller coaster that's coming because once the world starts reopening, we are just going to explode. So I hope that I'm not rambling too much at this point. So there you go. I'm really proud of you guys. I really am. You guys have done amazing stuff. You really have. You have fought, you have persevered, you have sacrificed, you have inspired. You have done all of that and more. You have been stability for your families. You have been stability for each other. You have been a tremendous, and again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. You guys don't realize, if you're not really connected with the event world, we are the event world right now. Hardly anybody else is working like we are. Really. I mean, every day I'm finding another event person that's out of business or had to completely shutter their business for now, and they're working at Target or whatever. You guys are just phenomenal. And right now, you are leading the way, whether you realize it or not. All of you, every single one of you is kicking ass and leading the way. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't ever forget that. I'm so sick and tired of listening. so many people in the event world are, woe is me. We need a bailout. We needed this. We needed that. And meanwhile, we're out there just kicking ass. And you know why it is? It's because we're creative. It's because we're fierce as hell. Because we've been the downtrodden for a very long time. And because we can cater to a variety of budgets. That is what's ultimately important. You've got a DJ, right? Who can hire a DJ? First of all, would you hire a DJ right now necessarily to host your virtual Zoom party for 6 people or whatever? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying you wouldn't do that. I'm just saying most people right now, DJs are not exactly a hot commodity right now as far as that goes. Reception halls, all of that stuff, caterers, all of them, they're struggling. They're scrounging. They're barely surviving. They're living off savings, and they're working at Target. You guys are the leaders. You guys are the ones that are just tearing it up in ways you can't even imagine. And I am so ridiculously proud to be in this industry right now with all of you. So thank you very much for who you are and for what you've been through all of this. You guys are the best. So, Float Friday's coming. And I'm very, 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 well, Marlene, you're a little bit different. You got money right now because you're a balloon person. There you go. So Float Friday's coming. I am very excited about Float Friday. It's really going to be exciting this year. It's normally, okay, for those of you that have been around the block a few times, you're like, Float Friday, yeah, it's Steve's posting pictures and yeah, whatever. This year it's going to be a totally different animal because we have this team now that's fantastic. We are going to have live announcements throughout the day. The ladies of Working Wonders are going to announce, at least as far as I know, the ladies of Working Wonders are going to announce our first round of teacher lineups for you all. Teresa Harding's going to have some special announcements that day. It's my hope that Tony Cooper is going to be doing some special announcements that day. I'm going to be doing, of course, the lovely Friday episode of Step Chat, where I will go over the COVID protocols. But again, please remember, I am not telling you exactly how it's going to be. I'm telling you what the worst case scenario is going to be. But we also have a surprise coming. Actually, we have a couple surprises coming, but I'm very excited about this surprise, and I will share it with you next week. I'll tell you about the surprise that we have coming next week. So I'm really excited about that. So there's that. Yes. And Tabitha, you're absolutely right before my vacation, which is why I'm doing a Friday Step Chat and not a Sunday Step Chat, because I will not be here on Sunday. I will be on vacation. And frankly, nothing personal, but I hope to be as disconnected as I possibly can. In fact, I'm actually thinking about handing over my hosting duties in the forum for the week and having somebody else do the little GIFs in the morning, so that I can sleep or do whatever I'm going to do. So there you go. So there's that. So really quickly, let me go. In case anybody's got some questions, I do want to go over really quickly the stuff that I've already covered tonight. Again, if you took Robin Veach's Float Foundation class, you're lucky, because that was a good class. If you did take it, your week-long option to purchase it at $5 is running. It started. It's going. Now you have until Saturday to purchase it for $5. So check the email, and somebody just bought it because I just got a notification on my phone. Check your email. You should have gotten it this morning. Okay. Dante's class coming up on the 12th, January 12th. The enrollment deadline is 5 p.m. my time, next Sunday. So when we get together on Step Chat next week, you're too late. So don't wait for me to get on there and be like, oh yeah, what's the code, Steve? Forget it. It's too late. It's gonna be closed at that point. You're gonna be done. So don't mess up. There you go. Thank you, Stacy. That was good. So yeah, make sure you get signed up. We are currently reevaluating the Float Foundation process, and we might be making some tweaks to that. Hold on. If we paid before the discount code was announced, are we SOL? Before what discount code? For Dante? Because Dante's discount code was available the moment we announced the class. I don't know I'm not sure what you mean by that question, Tabitha. So if you could be a little more specific, that would help. Also, please remember, if you are eligible for the discount code, please do not just sign up at full price and then ask me for a refund. Please don't do that. Please ask for the refund, or ask for the discount code so you can sign up the first time. And I'd rather do that, because the problem is you think I don't want to bug him, but the truth is it's bugging me more to make me go back and refund you, because not only do I still have to do work, but I now lose money in the process. And I don't mean by the refund, I mean by the fact that I'm now charged X amount by PayPal for a $30 transaction, and they don't give a crap that I gave you 10 bucks back. And if it continues, we might, Tabitha, okay, in the Float 22 group, Tabitha, first of all, I actually printed that code in the group like 2.5 weeks ago. Plus, we've been announcing that code since the day we've been sharing the code with anybody that asked it. From the moment we announced the class, we've got the code. So in the future, remember that. Now, if you paid the full price, I'll go fix it. Okay, we'll take care of it. We'll get you covered. That's fine. But in the future, okay, whenever that class is announced, there's always a code. The post that I made today in the forum was a reminder post. It was actually posted weeks ago, and anybody in the forum, I know people found it because they used it. So now you may, admittedly though, I don't know when you joined the forum, so that's a thing. You may have missed it, and that's okay. It's not a big deal, but it's fine. So just so you know for the future. All right. Also, we will be posting in the group tomorrow, in the Float group, the main Float group. We're going to be taking a poll as to when we should lobby to make 1 million bubbles a formal holiday. So you can put your input in starting tomorrow. I might even do it tonight if I think of it when I get home. I do have a lot of stuff. I still have to do a lot of work to do tonight, actually. I have to go home. With Valentine's Day coming, our web guy, Jeff Kelly from Asset Lab, who is a Float sponsor, he informed me over the weekend that they take in all their new content on Monday, and then they decide when during the week it's going to get put into people's places. So the problem is, if I don't get him the rest of my content for Valentine's Day tonight, it'll have to wait a week before it gets in. So I got to get that in. So we need that taken care of. So yeah, I've still got some work to do tonight. But there we go. And for those of you that missed it a little while ago, I am thrilled to share with you that the official logo for Float 2022 is a rising phoenix cut from the actual float balloon for Float 2022. Again, we rise. So I'm really, really excited about this in a different way. For example, I love Dr. Squish. The last year's character, not my performance as Dr. Squish, but I absolutely love the character of Dr. Squish. Dr. Squish was actually created for the very first Balloon Town, and Balloon Town evolved into Float. And so Dr. Squish has had, and then we tried to bring Dr. Squish to life at the first Float convention. And that's when we discovered, oh God, this is a lot more work than we ever thought. We never got anywhere near it. So we brought back Dr. Squish for this one. Dr. Squish was without question the most popular character at that first Balloon Town. Little kids were all like, "Oh my God, it's Dr. Squish! It's Dr. Squish! It's Dr. Squish!" Because what happened was at the end of they would go through the whole house thing, right? And then each of the kids meet these characters. Well, then at the end they had like photo ops with different characters, and so Dr. Squish was there, and the kids were just like, "Oh my God, it's Dr. Squish! It's Dr. Squish! It's Dr. Squish!" I thought that was great. I thought it was so fun that these kids really identified with Dr. Squish. So there you go. And thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. I won't lie to you. I was extremely nervous about that. In part because we didn't get to rehearse it enough. And in part because I had never gone to that much trouble to make myself look incredibly stupid at opening night. So yeah, it was good. But I thought it was fun, and I thought we did okay. Especially given the fact that Carl and I, for the most part, kind of winged it. Yeah, I thought we did pretty good. So there's all of that. So if there are no more questions, I guess we're going to call it a night so I can get home and I never heard of Dr. Squish. Well, were you not at opening night last year? Because if you were at opening night last year, you met Professor Xavier Excelsior Squish. Just saying. Mind you, you've never seen us in the same room together. So, that kind of thing. Okay, and you know what? Let's end the show how we started the show. You don't want to look at my crotch per se, but somebody has not moved. And since so many of you insist upon Roscoe updates, here he is, hunkered down. And what you have to understand is he is in the direct line of fire of the heater, which is why he really enjoys hanging out in that particular spot. So guys, thank you all very much for joining me once again here at Step Chat. I really appreciate it. You guys are, you're amazing. That's all I got to say. So thank you all very much for everything you do, for everything you are, for everything you've been. And I'm really excited, looking forward to seeing you all very, very soon, and looking forward to Float Friday. So we will talk soon. You guys take care.